Okay guys, so this is a very funny thing that happened, but I forgot to record an intro and I forgot to record an outro. I didn't record I didn't record some of the parts of the video, but anyways, I just want to come on here and tell you guys that today's video is going to be a video of me revisiting old YouTube favorites. So this video is a little messed up because I forgot to record an intro and an outro, so I'm so sorry, but I really wanted to get this video out. So if you guys want to see my old YouTube favorites, just keep watching. I'm gonna start off with my eyes. I always start my makeup with my eyes. And do you guys remember this concealer, the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer? This concealer came out, I would say, like at the end of 2016-ish, beginning of 2017, and it was a very popular concealer back then. But people don't really talk about this concealer anymore, and it was my favorite concealer back then when I didn't have a lot of concealers. But I really haven't used this concealer in a long time, but I'm just going to use this concealer as my eye primer today. I'm also going to use it on my face, but I used to use the crap out of this concealer. I used to use this concealer all the time. And then for my eyes, I'm going to use one of my favorite palettes still to this day, and it was a holy grail back then, but I still love this palette, and this is the Modern Renaissance by Anastasia. This was a huge palette in the beauty community. A lot of people loved this palette. A lot of people really raved about this palette. It is still, like, again, one of my favorite ones, and I'm just gonna create a look with this. But I just remember, this was one of the, like, because I remember Anastasia had the smaller palettes. This was a 14 pan eyeshadow palette, so I think it was like when Anastasia was rebranding their palette layouts and their palette like the packaging, because this was like a soft, like, velvet tip. But this palette was just such a big release, and this came out, I think it came out in the summer of 2015, and this was just such a popular palette. And the colors in here are just so beautiful, and they're very warm toned colors, a lot of pink, gold, you know, orange. But I really just love this palette so much. So I'm just going to create a look with this. I'm going to fast forward this part. I'm not going to talk through it because it's not a tutorial, but I'm just going to fast forward this part and just create a really nice look with this palette.
Educate the head, try to educate the heart.
So that's gonna be it for the eyes. I just created like a very simple eye look for now. I mean, I didn't want to do like anything too crazy, but when I use this palette, I always tend to focus on the oranges and the reds, and I don't know, I never really, you know, use the cooler toned colors, but I just decided to do something very, like, you know, natural, neutral. I'm gonna move on to the face, and I'm going to use this primer right here. Do you guys remember the Benefit Porefessional primer? Oh my gosh, like, this primer, I never loved it. I'm gonna be honest, I never loved this primer. I feel like it didn't really do anything for my pores. But you know, for today's video, I'm just gonna use it because this was a YouTube favorite. It wasn't horrible primer, but I never loved it the way some people really raved about this this primer. So I'm just gonna pat this onto like my skin. It always felt very putty to me. Like it always felt like a very putty primer. So I'm just gonna use this on like my cheek area. That's where I have most of my pores. And then I'm going to go in with this one right here, which I still use to this day. This is the Too Faced Hangover RX primer. This primer I do love. This is a very hydrating primer. I use it till this day. Like I use it all the time. I think it's a great primer for like hydration if you have, even if you don't have dry skin. I don't know, like there's always a stigma with people with oily skin, like they shouldn't put hydrating products on their skin, but I'm like, you have to hydrate your skin too, whether you have oily skin or not. So I'm just going to apply this. I'm gonna go in with this foundation right here. This is the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless Foundation. Like this was a very, very popular foundation back in 2015. 2015 was like the year that I really started getting into makeup. It's the year that I discovered a lot of YouTubers. It's the year that I just fell in love with makeup, and I don't know why I didn't start my channel back then. Like sometimes I'm like regretful. I regret that I didn't start back in 2015. I feel like I would have been much more further than I am now if I started back then. But you know, everything happens for a reason, and you know, I did everything for a reason. So but anyways, I'm gonna take this foundation and just use it. It's just fun, you know, going back through all my makeup and using old products that people that were YouTube favorites back then. And I'm gonna go in with this buffing brush by Real Techniques. You guys remember this brush too? I have the color 356. This is a new color. Back then I believe I was 355 coconut. Now 356 is the warm coconut. It has more of a golden undertone. The coconut one was a little too red for me, so it's the same formula, just the shade is just different. Because I miss the old YouTube. I really do. Like I remember when I first started watching YouTube videos, and I just remember like people would literally sit in their living rooms or their kitchens and just film videos. Like it was literally like you're hanging out with your friend. And now I feel like, and not all YouTubers are like this, because I can't, you know, generalize all the YouTubers, but some of YouTubers, it's literally like a TV show now. Like it's like a real production, and it's like a real, like, you know, like they have like a videographer and they have like a producer and things. There's nothing wrong with that, but sometimes, you know, you just want to chill. Like you just want to watch your favorite YouTuber in their element and just, you know, be like normal. It doesn't always have to, sorry, my earrings are like shaking, but it doesn't always have to be like a production. You know, and sometimes I miss that aspect of YouTube. I miss the days where it was just normal, where it was just like chill, like you're just watching a YouTuber put on makeup or tutorial and just in their house. Like I miss that sometimes. And then for concealer, I'm just going to go back in with the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, and I'm going to use that to highlight. I remember using this concealer, like I swore by this concealer a lot back then, back in like 2017. It is a pretty good concealer. It's not a bad concealer. I just have concealers now that I do love way more than this one, like being honest. But I'm just gonna take that and I'm gonna blend that in. I'll take this Real Techniques brush. To set everything, I'm taking the Lauta Mercier Translucent Loose Setting Powder, and I'm going to use that. I don't have it like purchased. I haven't purchased it because I used to have it and then I got rid of it. But this is a sample that I got from Sephora of it. So I'm just going to take this powder and use it. I remember this powder was very popular too. Like everybody swore by this powder by Lauta Mercier. Like all of these products, like people, it goes to show you that, like, you know, something that's hot and popping back then is not gonna always be hot and popping now. So I don't know, it's just so like, because because it's like we swore by these products and we really thought that they were like the best products ever. So it's just nice to go back in my makeup collection and look at over products that I used to wear all the time. So I'm just gonna take this brush here and just kind of blend that in there. And I'm gonna take some bronzer. I'm taking the Hoola Toasted Bronzer by Benefit. Now back to regular program scheduling. This, I had 2 of these and one of them was completely broken, so when I opened it like this, it just out and it fell all over my floor and it was a big mess, so I was cleaning all that up. But I'm taking the Benefit Hoola Toasted Bronzer. Do you guys remember the Hoola bronzer was so popular here on YouTube? But it was popular with more so the fair toned, medium toned women and men here on YouTube, because at the time, back in like 2015, 2014, 2016, they didn't have this shade. I think the shade came out in 2017. But, and the Benefit wave had already kind of passed with the whole Hoola bronzer. But I just wanted to use this one because now they finally have one for my skin tone and, you know, a little darker than me. So I'm just going to use this bronzer and just add some warmth to my skin. Blush, I'm taking one of the like first blushes that I ever purchased that was high-end, and this is the Too Faced Love Flush blush. Do you guys remember these, like the little cute heart-shaped blushes from Too Faced? These were so popular on YouTube. These were like YouTube faves back when, like 2014 YouTube. And I have mine in the shade Your Love Is King, and someone who made me purchase this back then was Jackie Aina, because she would use this blush. But I remember using this blush all the time, and I remember it was my first high-end blush purchase. I had never purchased a high-end blush before this one, so this one kind of holds dear to my heart because it was my first high-end blush, and it was the blush I used for a very, very long time. So I'm just gonna take this blush and use it. It's so cute. I just love the heart-shaped packaging in this blush too. For highlight, I'm taking the Gellar Gilded Honey highlight. This was another very popular product here on YouTube, the Gilded Honey one. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to apply it to the tops of my cheekbones. It's just so fun, like going through all of these products that were so popular here on YouTube, and it just kind of like nostalgia. It just kind of makes me like reminisce about how it used to be and how it is like now. Not as bad now, but it's not the same. And this highlight is so like glowy. Do you see that glow? This is such a glowy, nice highlight. Apply a little bit to my nose and a little bit on my cupid bows. So that's it for the face. So now I'm gonna zoom you guys back in and finish up my eyes. For the lash line, I'm gonna smudge Raw Sienna, Burnt Orange, and Real Gar, and just make a look. And I'll probably do Red Ochre on the outer part of my lower lash line. So I'm just going to speed this part through because it's the same thing I do every single time. Okay, so that completes the eyes and the face. So the last thing I have to do is the lips. I feel like my eyes, oh, I forgot mascara. Okay, I don't have a mascara that people used to use a lot back then. The only mascara I can think of is Superhero Mascara, and I was looking through my mascara and eyeliner, and I remember the Kat Von D tattoo liner. Do you guys remember this eyeliner? So I think I'm going to do like a wing with this, and this is in the shade Trooper, and this was the black one. So I'm going to take this and do a wing with this.
Before you educate the head, try to educate the heart.
Alright, so this is the part where it went south. So basically what I did is I stopped recording because my mom called me to the other room and I forgot to continue recording when I stepped back into my room. But basically I added the mascara to my lashes, and then I added my lipstick, which was Veronica. I did Veronica like as a lip liner, and I did Sepia in the center of my lips. So that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for revisiting old YouTube favorites with me. It was nice to reminisce these old times. So thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you're not already, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye. The neighbors yelling earthquake, 4.5, gonna make the bed shake.